Let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see such an international crowd in today's session on Google Ads versus SearchAds 360. Goedemiddag naar alle Nederlanders. Mahlzeit für diejenigen aus Deutschland. And good afternoon for all others. I see some UK people. Welcome. Thanks for joining today's knowledge sharing session on the topic of Google Ads. Some people might know it as AdWords. That was recently changed. Search ads also used to be double-click search for those who go back a little bit longer, although it's only 2 years, I think. My name is Peter. I'm the commercial director for DQ&A in the NACE region. I'm talking to you from Berlin. We have 2 offices in Germany, Berlin and Munich. But NACE, the area that we cover is sort of German-speaking region, the Benelux and the Nordics. Today, I am being joined by our magnificent Miriam Franken, who will share some insights and knowledge. What she has to say is far more interesting than I have to say, so I will keep it short, don't worry. So Miriam is a respected, very knowledgeable strategic consultant who has been with our company for exactly 4 years, actually, this month. So congratulations on that, Miriam. Little bit about DQ&A. So as many as you know, we have been around for a while. So we were founded in 2001. We're developed as a rather unique position with serving not only advertisers and agencies, but also publishers. So we cover quite a big spectrum in the ecosystem that Google has to offer, but not just Google. So also other brands and possibilities tools that are in the market. But we are a big fan, I have to admit, of Google. So we really prefer to work as an extension of your team, whether you're a publisher, advertiser, or agency. That means that we not just deliver, but we enable you to be successful. That means that we can do anything basically unimaginable in the online marketing spectrum. However, we prefer to act as an extension of your team. So we come in whenever needed. We share knowledge, like Miriam will do today, for instance, or we jump in when needed, when some circumstance like seasonality, resource bottlenecks, or anything in campaign management is requiring some assistance. But we can also deliver creative, for instance, because we have a very capable sister company, Joystick, that is super successful, mainly in the States, with delivering both static as dynamic creatives for campaigns that are steered by sophisticated artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms to drive your campaigns based on the data that you gather. But we go a lot further than that. So the best way to do that, usually, because it's quite complex, is to present that with the help of a use case, so you can really understand, like, how does that work for you, possibly. Which brings me to the coincidental occasion that next week Google is organizing a marketing tech conference where I wholeheartedly invite you to. I will share the link in the chat later on, but this is about there's 2 weeks, 3 days, each day 3 slots. You see the 2 slots that we are covering, which is actually the opening of the individual weeks with Zino and Jessica. Like I said, join in. Also, our competition colleagues, as I like to call them, are presenting there. So it's not just DQ&A. You can just choose on the topics that are interesting for you, and then jump on, jump off like the tourist buses in the big cities, basically. Then for a little bit of brand candy, maybe you can just do, because we're proud of showing really big names. At the same time, as a global partner of Google, we're very proud to work with these names, obviously, but we are also very locally present and would like to stay on top of regional and personal needs. So no matter what size you or your clients are, we're happy to help you with any challenges that you might have now or in the future. Having that said, I think it's time for the most exciting part and why you're all here of this session. So I hand it over to our magnificent Miriam.
Thank you. I hope you can all hear me. My name is Miriam, also known as Magnificent Miriam in this case, apparently. Today I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about the differences between Google Ads and SA360, as we get a lot of questions about this. So hopefully by the end of the session, you will understand the differences between Google Ads and SA360, understand a little bit about the automation capabilities and differences, know how bid strategies and SA360 differ from Google Ads, and get how SA360 can solve some of the business challenges. But let's first see what SA360 actually is. The name of this presentation is Google Ads versus SA360, but actually SA360 isn't a standalone platform. You really need those engines such as Google Ads, Microsoft Ads, or others in order to get it to work. SearchAds360 is a search management platform that is a layer on top of your search engines and helps you efficiently manage some of the largest search management campaigns in the world across different engines. Native integration with the Google Marketing Platform allows to manage and track digital campaigns across a single platform, enabling rich cross-channel buying, reporting, and attribution. Now let's have a look at the two platforms side by side. First, the interface. Google Ads is managed via the Google Ads interface and the editor. And with SA360, you can manage Google Ads, Microsoft Ads, Yahoo, Baidu accounts, and you can report on Facebook, Twitter, Naver, and other engines. Via the MCC account in Google Ads, you can manage multiple accounts or clients. And in SA360, it's not just a Google Ads account under an agency, but you can divide them in advertisers, each with multiple engine accounts connected. So, for example, if you're a global company, you will have your single agency and with countries as advertisers, and under those advertisers, there can be multiple Google Ads or Microsoft Ads accounts, or if you're in China, you will have your Baidu accounts, for example. Then the reporting options. With SA360, you are flexible in what you can report on with the creation of columns, and I will come back to this point at a later stage. In Google Ads, you will have your fixed columns to report on. And of course, for both platforms, it's possible to connect to Data Studio, in which you can create some beautiful reporting and also some columns, which you can choose for yourself. In Google Ads, it takes up to 24 hours before all your conversion data is in. And in SA360, the conversion data is nearly real time, which is great, for example, if you are going to run a campaign for Black Friday, which is coming up, and you really want to get some insights in your conversion data during that day. Via Google Ads, you can optimize towards multiple conversions and then segment to see which conversions have actually have taken place. And in SA360, you can create custom conversions. Also, on this point, I will come back to it a little bit later in the presentation, but it's also possible to optimize the variables of your conversion. So, for instance, if you have an e-commerce website running and you want to only optimize on a certain category, that is possible as long as it's within your tracking. Both platforms offer conversion attribution, but the functionalities in SA360 are a bit more advanced. For example, you can create a custom data-driven attribution model that is based on labels instead of just turning on data-driven attribution. And within SA360, your conversions are deduplicated over your accounts. So if you have added a Google Ads account and a Microsoft Ad account, then the conversions are deduplicated, as you can see it in your view, which really helps you to optimize. And last but not least, SA360 has a feature to build out automated campaigns, which I will also tell you about later in the session. So 3 core ways that SA360 helps advertisers is by automating campaign management, the advanced bidding and optimizations, and some greater reporting insights. And that is all within one central interface. I will really deep dive further into the first 2 points and explain some of the differences and give some examples of business challenges that can be solved with SA360. But first, have a look at the automation part. Why is automation so important? Because only 1/3 of campaign processing time is spent on activities such as strategic targeting, data-driven innovation, performance optimization, and things that directly improve your performance. The remaining 60% is devoted to heavily manual, low or no value tasks such as formatting reports, data entry, as well as significant amounts of rework, which you would definitely see in within search. So what's the difference then between SA360 and Google Ads? Because both of them have some great capabilities in order to help you automating some things. And what it actually comes down to is the flexibility of SA360. I also want to note that one of the features that SA360 doesn't have compared to SearchAds 360 are scripts. So if you have a huge bunch of those running, which help you automating, you can just transfer them to SA360. But of course, there are a lot of other options within SA360 to help you automate all of those things. Rather than looking just at differences and the features of the platform, I would also like to dive into some business challenges. And in this case, some automation challenges that SA360 can overcome. First one is a common challenge that we hear a lot. So, like, we spend too long on mentioning keywords coverage and ad copy. And the second one is mainly about e-commerce. So we spend too much budget on out-of-stock inventory. Which can be, of course, well, it's normally e-commerce, but it also can be that you're running other campaigns of stuff that's just not there anymore. And the third one is really about account hygiene and the repetitiveness of tasks. And here, rules, formula columns, and labels can help you fixing this. And for the first 2 things, inventory management can really help you. So the skill complexity and frequency of required campaign changes and build-outs can be drain and time and resources. Like, we know on average that a search professional will spend around 8 hours a week on this type of work. Manually creating and curating campaigns also leaves room for human error, and that's of course what you don't want. And inventory management allows customers to quickly build accurate and updated coverage using feeds and templates. And the nice thing about this one is that the feeds can be from Google Merchant Center, but don't have to be. So they can also be XML, Google Sheets, and Excel uploads, like lots of options there. So it's not just about doing inventory management for your e-commerce and retail, but it's also a really good tool for non-retail. Templates are then applied on this data and can dynamically create campaigns, ad groups, keywords, ad copy, location extensions, site links, just, your whole build. This helps to build out comprehensive coverage of your customer's product set, ensures only relevant and in-stock products are advertised, and that matching is always up to date and compliant. So it will take from your feed, it can take prices, and if those prices change, then it will also take that one into account if you have your prices displayed into your ad. Like I said, it's not just used for e-commerce, but we also see the applications for travel, other services, food, and auto sectors, like all gaining incremental traffic and performance boost as all of your ads and your ad copy and Just your keywords, everything is more relevant. Next up is rules, which you might also know from Google Ads. Automated rules can change settings in campaigns, ad group, ads, keywords, or product targets. And based on your criteria, you can specify. Instead of changing settings, you can create a rule that simply notifies you when campaigns and other items match your criteria you specify. You schedule a time for the rule to run, set up conditions, and specify the action if the conditions are met. For automated rules that you run on a comparing schedule, you can manually start the rule at any time instead of waiting for the next scheduled run. So the main difference between rules in Google Ads and SA360 is the flexibility. This is an overview of all of the types of rules that are possible within SA360. So there is a lot of possibilities and flexibility in there. And what we normally advise, like we all get that you get really excited about this, but we normally advise not to apply like your bid changes from the first time that you use it, but first try to send just a notification or send a label when a condition is met, and after that, when you see that it's really working and when it actually does what you have set it to do. Then apply the actual bid change, for example. Then custom formula columns. This is the creation of custom metrics, and I think this is a really strong feature of SA360. So, for example, instead of cost per action, you can create actions per cost, which will display the total number of conversion. You can also use it to rename a column. For example, if your vertical may actually refer to CPA as CPL, you can rename the column to so the report is more relevant. You can also sum up floodlight columns with ways. That's actually not just for floodlight columns, but you can use that for all of your conversions. So you can also refer to already created formula columns in your formulas, just to make it more difficult. But you can just do a lot with them. So if you, for example, have a column that is named KPI and that weighs the floodlight activity and clicks, you can count them and set up a column for cost per KPI and apply those fixed values. You can also set up a formula for your Q3 budget of a goal of 30,000 euros, and you can also set up two different CPA goals for brand and generic. Which a CPA goal for brand would be 30 euros, and then for a CPA goal, it would be 50. It might also be helpful to set a column with the number of days of the month, which you can then use in other formulas. And I have an example of that one as well. And you can create custom alerts using those logical operations like if, and, and or. And that is, you can also just use your formula columns in combination with rules, which I will also have an example of. So this is more of a weight that you can give to your conversion using your formula columns. So, for example, if you do want to bid against a ROAS, but you don't, or you just don't have enough conversions, then this is a great tool. But also, if you want to bid on a ROAS and you don't have transaction data in place, you can say, okay, a phone call for me is worth 15 euros, and you will get that as a source from Google Ads conversion tracking. And then also if people stay on the site for a longer period, then that's also really important for us. So we will give that a 5 euro value. And that one would come from the analytics goal. And then last, that's more of a more advanced feature, the offline conversion upload, your lifetime value estimate. You can also get that and then add them together and have a total revenue, which you can then use for your bid strategy, but also just have it as another column to report on. Then this is a different one where you can say, hey, I want to see the conversion rate for the past 7 days and see it as a trend towards the conversion date of 30 days. And then I just don't want to see it in a percentage, but I also just want to see it in a trend. Say if it's between -10 and -30, then it's decreasing. Well, actually the whole thing that you see in there. This is an example of columns that you can create and which you can then add to your views, but you can also use it combined with rules. So what you see here, what you just said is, hey, I want to see when something is, my conversion rate trends is strongly increasing, then I want to increase my bids by 40%, and I want to do that every Monday morning. And then we'll automatically do that for you. Then the advanced bidding and optimization. To elevate results accurately, well, you can definitely use your bid strategies, but there are a few differences between Google Ads and SA360. The level of applying is one. So in SA360, you can apply bid strategies on multiple levels, down to keyword level. I don't really advise to put all of your bid strategies on keyword level, but it could be really helpful if you have a subset of keywords that you want to specify and you want to bid differently on than the rest of your campaigns. Then you have your conversions. Like I mentioned in one of my first slides, is that there's more flexibility of setting up your conversion based on your variables, but also the setting up of conversion targets within SA360. Adaptive features. You can automatically let SA360 create or adapt to location targets, remarketing targets, and product groups automatically. I'll explain this a little bit in 2 slides. Then your exclusions. You also have the possibility of excluding events from days from your bid strategy in SA360, which is really helpful, especially if you're running your Black Friday campaign, which is huge, and then you don't want to have that day of data. You don't want to have it incorporated into your bid strategy. Otherwise, it goes into the learning phase again. It takes up like, hey, what happened there? And it will take into the rest of your bids. Within SA360, you can say, I don't want to have that day in, and then we'll exclude it. And so also here, what are some business challenges that advanced bidding in SA360 helps to overcome? That can be spending too long on optimizing our bids manually. Also, to keep overspending on your monthly PPC budgets, and too slow to react to new opportunities. Action time bidding is, of course, something that is also in Google Ads, so that's not a big difference. But the budget bid strategies is definitely something that is a really great feature within SA360 to help you with that overspend. So what does it do? It allows users to optimize their bid modifiers, and campaign budgets to hit a target budget while maximizing their desired KPI, which can be conversions, revenue, or clicks. Budget bid strategy is primarily built for spend efficiency and control. So if you have a CPA ceiling, you can also set optional efficiency gaps. The benefits of your budget bid strategy is that you don't need to recalculate or adjust your daily budgets. It gives you great insight into the pacing, and also if you're hitting your targets. So it will show how the spend is divided in weeks, and can then also show you how far you have come into your budget if you need, if you're going to hit your target and what you need to do for it, but also just, your pacing gives some great insights instead of recalculating that on a monthly basis. So how does it work? You have to set up your budget plan and connect it to a bid strategy. And a budget plan can be a week, a month, a quarter of a budget. The options here are also really flexible. And all campaigns in the budget group will be added to the bid strategy. So again, there you will also have your portfolio, to which you can have a certain shared budget, if you would like to say it, and then also apply a bid strategy to that shared budget. Then the adaptive settings. First one, adaptive shopping. This one creates or adapts to smaller product groups based on the set of goals to help you achieve better results. So it can save a lot of time when you optimize on your shopping campaigns. And if you have a really big shopping campaign running and trying to figure out which works and which you have to bid on separately, this can be a great tool. Adaptive Geo does exactly the same thing, only then with location targets. So it automatically adds smaller locations, like city or region, based on your performance. And then, of course, it does take into account the initial geo that you set. And the last one is Adaptive RLSA. And this one creates, or again, adapts remarketing targets based on your conversion goal or your bid strategy. So the question that we get a lot, like, when do I exactly use it? When do I use it? Is it really worth the value? When or why, or how can I, if you're an agency and you want to sell to clients, how do I do that? And I think the most important thing is that SA360 should solve a business challenge for you, either if it's on automation, like spending too much time on things, or in your optimizations, or in your reporting that your boss or your client just wants to see things that you now have to do in a really, well, download or just time consuming way for you. SA360 can really help you having multiple accounts running in which you're spending a lot of time on. Like if you're switching a lot between them, optimizing them, and also if you do, you just don't have a good overview of all of the things that you're doing, or if the tasks that you are performing are just really repetitive between every account that you have. And also, it can also just be that you have a really large account and with a lot of manual product campaigns, which you have to update each time a change occurs. So then again, that will definitely help if you would use inventory management campaigns. But also, if you're running into limitations in your bidding features on Google Ads, like if it's not giving the results you want, or you have a certain bid strategy that keeps running against the cap due to which it can optimize fully, then definitely budget bid strategies can help you. And the last one is also quite important. Like, you need some time to invest in the product. And of course, it's a great product and it can definitely make some things happen. And but it's not like magic. You do have to invest some time in it and learn the platform and give it time to actually get all of your data and also help to optimize you towards things. So what we normally advise to, have it running, take around 3 to 5 months as a learning period and really implement features step by step. We do, of course, as DQ&A, we have some great learning and implementation guides for you available. So if you're interested, then, let us know. We can definitely help you with it. And I think this is a great way to give the floor back to Peter. Thanks.
Thank you, Miriam. So now all of you know why I call her magnificent. Great presentation. We have quite a few questions coming in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really happy about. So let me start with our neighbor from Klickwundert, Nina. She's asking how the conversions, or are the conversions also duplicated into Microsoft Ads?
Yeah.
If the conversion is a Google Analytics goal.
Yeah, they are. So all of the accounts, if you're using Google Analytics, then they are being deduplicated into your, if you added your Microsoft Ad accounts to it.
Cool. Before I go to Tommy's questions, she has another question. So okay. Let's go into that first. Will product keywords and ads be paused and reactivated based on feed changes, or will they be deleted and newly created?
You can actually, you have that option to choose. So you can say, hey, if a product is out of stock, I want to delete it, or you can say just pause it, and then it will be reactivated as soon as the product is back in stock.
Okay. Then Tommy has a question. What would be the update frequency for feeds and out of stock near real time if feed is up to date?
On the top of my head, I think it's 6 times a day, but I will have to come back to you with a definite answer on that one.
Okay, I'll share his contact details if that's okay, Tom.
Yeah, sure.
Then we'll get back to you on that. Then Alexander is asking how many conversions one needs for SA360 bid strategy.
The recommendation is 20 a week in order to optimize. Like the more the better, of course, and also if you have more conversion, the system will learn quicker and can optimize better, and will go out of learning period faster. Oh, and I just get from a colleague who is also listening in, for Tommy, it's every 4 hours that the feed updates. Thank you.
Great. Then I think a question from Netherlands, from Peter. Great name, by the way. Auction time bidding is actually the same. Auction time bidding is actually the same as in Google Ads, and data exclusions are available in beta in Google Ads as well. Besides multi-channel account bid strategies, do you see any other bid management advantages of SA360 compared to Google Ads for accounts mainly optimizing on ATB strategies?
Ooh, that's a long question. Well, yeah, you have it both in place. Wait, can I? Oh, I can also go back, right, to see the entire question.
I think so.
Okay, great. Blah, blah, same, blah, blah, as in Google. Yeah, that's what you see a lot. Like a lot of features that are becoming in SA360, like the data exclusion that will first come to SA360, and then eventually it will roll out in Google Ads as well. Other management advantages, if you run on effective revenue share, it can be a lot of help. But yeah, it mainly works great if you have like multiple accounts. So if you have your Microsoft ad accounts running as well, then it will then it can definitely help you with optimizing. Then if you want to, if you have your specific if you have your conversions in that way, like your formula columns, which I just explained, then it can also really help you. That is like the main big difference here.
Cool. All right. Then one more question from Alexander. You mentioned ad builder somewhere in the presentation. Is that different from inventory management?
Yeah, it is. It's ad builder is well, as the name says, it's only for ads, and you don't have to put a feed connected to it, but it can build out some great ads and on a large scale on ad group level. But it can dynamically insert ad group names, for example, to make it more to make your ads more accurate.
Brilliant question, if I may add. I had the exact same question. Maybe 2 words were different. Any question, Alexander. So thanks for that. Yeah, that was the last question. I have 2 more things to mention. So for those who'd like to see this presentation again, we're going to be posting it on YouTube in the next days. Our next webinar will be on the 15th of October, so we try to keep a bi-weekly frequency in that. And I posted the tech conference in the top of the chat, so those who would like to participate there, feel free to have a look at the agenda, which topics you might find interesting. Leaves me with another big thank you for Mirjam in Holland. Great presentation, very sophisticated already. I know AdWords, but my knowledge clearly has some Luft nach oben, as they say in Germany, in the SA world. So yeah, work to do for me. Thank you very much, Mirjam.
Thank you, and thank you guys for listening in.
Yeah, so hope to see you next time. Bye bye, stay safe, and have a good afternoon.
Bye.